Do you like matcha? Because I've been drinking a lot of matcha lately. So, I'm going to show how to make a matcha chasen, which is basically the whisk that you use to create matcha. Let's get started. We're going to start off by adding in a circle, and the number of vertices is going to be the number of tines on our whisk here. So I'm going to do 80 is fine. For there, we'll go into edit mode, switch to vertices, go and select all of them, hit E to extrude, scale on X and Y. And just a little bit here, we have face orientation turned on. We'll leave that on for now. Scaling a little bit more than that. And we'll scale down on the Z to about right there. That'll work. Select this outer ring again. Scale down on the Z. And this is going to be scaling out the wand a little bit. That'll work. Hit E, S, Shift Z. And we can try and line this roughly to be equal. To be perfect. Then hit scale S and Z, bring it up a little bit like that. That'll work. Then we're going to hit face mode and ring select here and hit I to inset. We'll do about right there. And then we'll go into Z X-ray view. And let's select on the X-axis here these. Then hold Control I and delete those vertices. So now I just have this small section here because we're going to be using a little bit of trickery to make this a lot easier. Go into the side view here and let's go ahead and extrude down on Z, at least the same length, maybe a little bit more here. And then let's shrink down on X, make it nice and thin, shrink down on Y as well. And then we're going to throw on 6 cuts, Control R, select the almost the bottom, turn proportional editing, make sure we're scaled up, move it along the X, and that'll work. Chasen has a little bit of a rotation to it. The endpoints on a brand new one are curved in. So we're going to create that pretty easily here. I'm going to select this inside edge, use cursor to select it, then select the face here, and then we're going to use a tool that is not often used, which is the spin tool. Under tool settings, we're going to spin on the Y axis here, and we're just going to spin out, and about right there. We could adjust the steps if we want, but I'll leave it at 8, and then hold the X arrow there, make that a little bit bigger. There we go. Then go to scale mode with proportional editing on, make it way down. And we're just gonna scale that in. There we go. Then let's select the inside one here, and we're gonna bring you out. We'll say about right there. Once again, shrink on the X and shrink on the Y. Make this one very, very thin. 6 cuts again, and to make sure we don't mess anything up, we're gonna go into X-ray and we're going to hide these vertices. Select the bottom one here, turn on proportional editing. We're gonna rotate. We're gonna rotate up all the way up here, and we're just gonna rotate that, and then move on the X over to. We'll say there. That'll work. Alt H, so everything's visible again. And now is where the magic happens. We're gonna add in an array modifier. We're going to set the type to be a circle, and the count is going to be the number of vertices we use for our circle, which is going to be 80. And now, voila, we have a matcha whisk. Turn on merge, and we're going to apply this. I'm in edit mode here. We're going to select the inside right here, and we're going to do a grid fill. And we can lower that span a little bit if we want to, and adjust the offset so that's nice and even. And do the same for the bottom one here. Grid fill. Bring down that span. Perfect. All right, and then we're also going to throw on 4 loop cuts right up here. Then we're going to turn off proportional editing, shrink them down on the Z. About right there will work. Extrude on there. Shrink it in. Select these outer edge loops here, scale them out a little bit. Then we're going to do Control B to bevel it just a little bit here. We're going to do a very simple bevel, just do that. All right, then right click shade auto smooth. Let's do about 45, should be okay. Hit apply, rotate this 180 degrees so that we have it facing up here. Control A to apply our rotation. And if we want to, we can actually shrink this around, and let's shrink that down, make that a little tighter there. And now if we look at the size, this is almost 7 meters tall. That's not very accurate. So instead, within Blender, we can type in 5 inches, which is a little bit closer to reality. And if we click and drag off the Z, drag it up, it'll apply that same amount of scaling all the way across the board. And now we can apply that scale, and we have an accurate scaling. And if we remember correctly, with our face orientation on, everything's flipped. So we will select everything, do Shift N, and that should fix all of that. But now we need some material on here to make it look a little nicer. So we're gonna type in Chosin, and we're gonna do shading instead of UQ Paint because we're not worried about, not creating anything for game ready right now. We're just creating something that looks good. So we're going to take this, we're going to add on a noise texture. We're gonna do Control T, change our mapping here, drag down noise texture, do a duplicate, drag off of here. We're gonna do a mix. We're going to mix these together here with a small factor. And what that is going to do is it's going to let us warp our texture here. See, let's just warp the texture coordinates. So we're gonna add a little bit of warp, but 0.05, just a very small amount of warping there. Drag off the color and put it into a color ramp. Like that, so we can see what we're looking at. And we're gonna just start adding in a few of these. Make that one fully black, add another one fully white, add another one fully black, and one more fully white. And we'll just play around with this a little bit here. So we can get a little bit of a look here. And change the Z scaling to be a little tight. Increase the Y scaling just a little bit here. And we can throw in a little bit of detail here as well. A little bit of roughness too. That looks pretty good. Drag off of you. We're going to throw you into a mix node. That's going to be our factor, and this is going to be our base color here. So we need to get that bamboo color. It's a little bit of a light color there. And this is going to be a little bit of a light color, just a little darker. And there we go. That already looks pretty good, but we can make this look a little bit better here. We can add in another mix node. That's going to go into A. The factor here is going to be our ambient occlusion. If we look at ambient occlusion, see it's adding a little bit of darkness to any area that has ambient occlusion. So we're going to just intensify that effect by throwing it into a color ramp. And now we can increase the strength of that, but we want to flip it because we want to increase the darkness of the inside here. So it looks like it's gathering a little bit more dirt. Increase the intensity there. So that color is going to be our factor. This is going to be our new base color, and that is just going to be darkened quite a bit. I'm just going to add a little bit of grime there, and we're going to add one more mix node, and this one is going to mix into a noise texture. Do another mapping here, drag off of the color into another color ramp. That's going to be our factor. This time we're just doing black. That over in here. And all we're doing here is we're just adding in a little bit of grime to our, let's just add a little bit of grime, a little bit of color variation. Makes it look just a little bit more realistic here. And last thing we can do here is we can go in X-ray view, select our bamboo slit here. If we press R and X, we can add just a little bit of a rotation, R and Y, just a little bit of a rotation. And that's going to make it look just a little bit more realistic since it's not quite perfect. And then we go over here, we can adjust our roughness, make it more like 0.85, 0.77 actually looks pretty good. We can adjust our specular as well if we want to, but I think we could add on a little bit of a coat, just increase the roughness of the coat. And there we go. We have our Chosin. Throw that into render view. Look at that. Looks pretty good. We can even throw it into an HDRI. Let's just throw it into a sky here so we can see what it looks like. 0.3. Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty good. And, of course, don't forget to name it.